It's in our blood, it's in our bones, orange and brown, yeah, we ride for our own like a dog pack running. We ain't alone, game day comes, get ready for the show. It's our call, it's our bark, it's our song. We stand tall, yeah, we've been here all along. Through it all, the dog pound standing strong. We all dogs, yeah, we all dogs. Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reniker, Justin Charles, Kenny Mack, and Josh All. We all dogs!
What's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Josh All, your host today, and it's time to preview the second preseason game, Browns vs. Bills, this Saturday, 1 p.m. in Cleveland, the home preseason opener for the 2026 season, the first time the fans get in the stands in Cleveland this year. So it's an exciting time. I know, like Kenny Mack, he's going to be up there. A whole bunch of people from the Dog Pack, they'll be around the area, the stadium, all that for the game. I got a message here, got a little segment from Kenny Mack coming up shortly in the show. We got some voicemails, some messages, all kinds of good stuff. Joint practice happened today between the Browns and the Bills, so we'll go through the notes and information that came out of that session. Some interesting stuff, some good stuff, and some not good stuff. Some really not good stuff. But we'll get into it. If you guys have been following the news, you probably have an idea of what I am alluding to. But make sure you guys go to jointhedogs.com if you want to get into our dog pack, to the private Discord, and everything for this season. That is the place to be. We say it's the place to be on game day, but honestly, it's just the place to be all week long because the conversation doesn't just stop after the game is over. There's people are in there breaking down all 22 on Monday and Tuesday and talking about what we should do on the upcoming game and making a move for this player or that. There's fantasy football conversations going on in there. There's a channel for that, all that kind of stuff. There's food and just, it's awesome. Tailgating stuff. JoinTheDogs.com. Make sure you guys get in there if you want to hang out and be part of our dog pack community. All right, before we talk about joint practice today with the Bills, let's kick things over real quick. Voicemail here from Jersey Justin.
Jersey Justin chiming in here, cruising the shore. Just listen to the game reaction podcast. Just want to chime in here real quick. Give everyone some hope. Everyone still keep those wrists up. There's, you can't take this game we just watched and immediately change and think that your opinion's changed of what quarterback should start once actual week one regular season starts. I think that's absolutely asinine after one preseason game. A couple things I want to note that are big is, for one, Shedeur Sanders' footwork I thought looked a lot better, and I'll take that over a Deshaun Watson that seems to have a arm that's throwing a little bit better. Okay. Secondly, Fano played great. That made me feel really good. I'm glad we drafted him. He's going to be a lock. And something else to not forget, Shedeur Sanders, whether you want to say it or not, still got thrown in mid-game. So let's see how he does this game coming up, and let's go Browns. Ooh.
All right, Justin, thanks for the voicemail. Yeah, I mean, I said that last week too. I thought it was very noticeable, the improvement in Shedeur Sanders' footwork from last season to his first time on an NFL field against an opposing team this year. It was clear as day to me. Like, this guy has been absolutely working on his footwork, his mechanics. He looked way more comfortable in the pocket. When there was pressure, he stepped up. I didn't see him appear to panic at any point. So it was good signs. And again, that kind of goes back to what we saw last year during the season when Shedeur was starting games. There would be, what do you want to call it, warts or whatever, for a certain area of his game. And then the next week, whatever that was the previous week, would look better. And you could tell, like, okay, he watches the tape and he sees, what did I do wrong or poorly in this last game? And he focuses on it and he works on it. And it's just tough. It's kind of like a golf swing. You can't work on everything at once, which unfortunately is just true. If you try to change your grip and your stance and your how straight is your back and your knees and where you're watching, your head align, all this, you try to change everything at once. You guys know if you play golf before, it doesn't work. So I've been impressed with Shedeur Sanders working on and focusing on certain things to get better each week, each game that he plays. And again, I just saw it last week in the preseason game. And I'm excited for this Saturday against the Bills to see how he looks as the starter. Because again, I do think there's a difference between starting and a football game and coming in cold after halftime. Now, I'm not trying to make excuses for why he didn't outshine Deshaun Watson in the first game or anything. But come on, if you've ever played football or watched these, this game, that's just reality. It just is what it is. Something else you said in there, Justin, Spencer Fano. We can kind of move into today's training camp joint practice session between the Browns and the Bills. Spencer Fano was locked down in the preseason game against the Bears. He looked great. And by all accounts today at practice, same thing against the Bills starters. And I'm telling you, going against the Browns defensive line and Jared Verse specifically for the entirety here of training camp has been huge. I can't emphasize it enough. Huge for Spencer Fano. I mean, this guy has been put through the ringer every single day by one of the best pass rushers. You don't care what anybody says about, Jared Verse isn't Myles Garrett. We know he's not Myles Garrett. Doesn't change the fact that he's one of the best pass rushers in terms of generating pressure on the quarterback in the NFL over the last 2 years. He's one of the best. Spencer Fano gets to deal with that every day, and I think it's prepared him very, very well for what he's going up against here, against these starters on these. Well, I guess it wasn't the starters against the Bears, but still, they're second team, they're rotational guys, and then the starters today for the Bills. And from what I was reading, from what I saw, it seems like the offensive line, the starting offensive line, did very, very well today against the Bills starting defensive front. You had Spencer Fano, Zion Johnson, Elgton Jenkins, Tevin Jenkins, and Titus Howard. They were creating some run lanes. They were creating, pass protecting very well, giving the quarterback time to drop back, diagnose, go through progressions, make the right read, hit their man. Overall, obviously you're not going to win 100% of your reps in anything. But I think overall the offensive line showed today that they are heading in the right direction. What I've been begging for so much is just freaking figure out who the five are, number one. It's impossible to give your starting five time and reps and opportunity to gel together if you don't even know who the five are. If it's going to be Tevin Jenkins at right guard and you're going to keep Elgton Jenkins at center, then just do it. Let these guys gel. Let them work together. Let them create the chemistry and the rapport so that we can not go into week one looking stupid is what I'm kind of been worried about. But today was a good step forward for the offensive line, so that makes me feel a little better. I take a sigh of relief, a deep breath on the offensive line struggles that we have been seeing in camp. And I do think that the Browns' defensive line is probably still one of the better defensive fronts in the league. Now, that being said, the terminology there, unfortunately, may end up was one of the better defensive fronts in the league. Defensive end Alex Wright. Yeah, he got carted off today with a left ankle injury. Saw some speculation, people saying, hope it's not like an ACL, which it looked like it was more of an ankle injury from what I was watching and reading. So I guess you fear some sort of an Achilles thing. I don't know. Broken ankle. I don't know what maybe it was just like a high ankle sprain. That would be fantastic. Again, guys get carted off for pretty much anything during camp. I don't know. Like I said, I did this with Zach Zinner when he got carted off. I don't know. He was on the furthest field you could possibly get, Zach Zinner was, from the facility. So if he even twisted his ankle a little bit, they're not going to make him walk 3 fields down to get to no, they're going to give him a ride down and not make that ankle any worse. So I'm hoping it was just he rolled the ankle, sprained it, high ankle sprain at the absolute worst. I just hope and pray it's not a season ender, but we'll get more information on Alex Wright. Make sure you guys follow us on socials. Probably put out a short video about whether it's a good report or a bad report. I'm sure we'll find out tomorrow or Saturday about Alex Wright, but just want to let you guys know that happened. The defensive line, the depth is bad. Depth is rough, and we'll see this on Saturday against the Bills. We got to find who's going to be the next guys in that rotation, because without Alex Wright, Isaiah McGuire's like, okay, that's like our top rotational guy to come in. Well, he would be your other starter in that situation, which means your top rotational guys would be like UDFAs, Corday Snyder, Logan Fano. I don't even know who else we have, honestly, right now at the edge position, other than some guys that who did we sign the other day? Jamil Muhammad. I don't know. They're just signing guys and bringing them in and saying, if you can do something, get on. Otherwise, we're going to cut you and put somebody else on the team. Like, we got to find people who can play, and we got to find them now. Freaking season starts in a little over 3 weeks. So we have got to figure this thing out on the defensive line. The interior has been dealing with injuries to damn near everybody all camp. And now the edge position's getting hit. We've been trying to find a veteran to come in and be that fourth guy. I mean, it's just, the depth concerns me. They said it was so bad today, depth-wise on the edge, that for the first team, and this, remember, the defensive tackle, the interior guys are thin as well. Mike Hall Jr. was playing the other edge rusher, the other end, opposite of Jared Verse today. It's like, oh my goodness. We need help. We desperately need help. But let's just go through a couple of these notes. I guess another thing real quick I'll mention, Quinshon Judkins was not at practice again today. So he was not at practice yesterday, and everybody's like, well, we don't really know what's going on. There was no information there. And then it kind of came out today that he missed yesterday because he was dealing with a minor thing. I have no idea what that could be. Hopefully it really is just a minor thing, nothing serious, but he did not practice today against the Bills. So it was Dylan Sampson, RB1, and he looked good. He had some nice big runs today. Raheem Sanders had a big run on a cutback, which that thing was dead in the water, but I don't know how much of that would have actually happened in a real game. I'd have to go watch the play over again, but Dylan Sampson looked good again, the line creating space, creating opportunities for him, and he was taking advantage. The dude, he's super fast. Like he's a very speedy back, and I'm glad to see him being more utilized in this Todd Monken offense. I just could not handle it last year. It was killing me every week. Like, just figure out a way to use this kid. He's extremely talented. Please just find a way to get him on the field and get the ball into his hands. And I'm hoping Todd Monken and crew can do that this year. Let's see what else from today. I guess we can dive into the quarterback conversation. So Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, they did split reps today. For the first part of practice, it sounded like Deshaun was taking all the first team reps, and then Shedeur was taking, or no, I'm not all. I'm sorry. I misspoke. Deshaun Watson was taking only first team reps, while Shedeur Sanders was taking first and splitting some second team work with Dylan Gabriel. And it's like, okay, well, that's not surprised. But then as practice went on, Deshaun Watson was also splitting some second team work with Dylan Gabriel, while Shedeur worked with the one. So it really did seem like a pretty 50-50 even split today between the two quarterbacks. If you look at the QB tracker from ESPN Cleveland, I think Deshaun Watson had 17 pass attempts today, and Shedeur Sanders had 23. Now, as far as total reps go, I don't know how many reps in terms of like handoffs or anything like that, plays that got blown dead for penalty or called back for penalty, whatever. I don't know the exact number, but I do know, based on the tracker, Shedeur did have more pass attempts officially than Deshaun today. But we know Shedeur is going to start on Saturday. Todd Monken did say that they are going to rest all of their older starters. So for me, I would imagine, okay, so if we're just talking about the game, I would imagine that Spencer Fano starts the game as the left tackle, and you will probably have, I would imagine the rest of your line is going to be the second string. That would be my guess. And then I think Casey, Boston, I would imagine those two start the game. How long they play? Fano, Casey, and Boston, my bet would be 2 drives. Maybe 2 drives. We'll see. I know they like to get these guys reps, like to get them work, but we also need to keep them healthy. So there's like that balancing act every preseason. It's what we do. It's just the way it goes. So be prepared for that. I do think it's going to be majority second string guys starting that game with Shedeur on offense on Saturday, with a couple of these younger starters sprinkled in. But they won't play for very long. They're definitely not playing the entire first half. I would be shocked. So there's that.
We are dogs.
This episode is sponsored by Kalshi. All right, Browns fans, you know, we've all messed around with the sports books before, right? And let's be honest, you're always kind of playing against the house. But with Kalshi, it's different. You're not betting against some sports book. You're trading against other real-world people. There's no house trying to beat you. Kalshi just runs the marketplace. So if you think the public is wrong and the Browns can make the playoffs in Todd Monken's first year, or Casey Concepcion, Denzel Boston, one of those guys can win Offensive Rookie of the Year, you can take the other side of the market, and then if you're right, that's a big payout for you. And it's not just sports either. You can trade on other real-world stuff, interest rates, inflation, even wild weather outcomes. It works like this. Simple yes or no markets, your risk is capped up front, and your payout is locked in. So if you trust your takes and instincts, and I know you guys do, go check out Kalshi and see what markets are live right now. So use our link in the description or just head over to kalshi.com/dogs, KALSHI.com/dogs, DAWGS, to earn up to $500 when you trade 25. Kalshi, because why shouldn't you guys get paid for being right? This episode is sponsored by Vivid Seats. Browns fans, the NFL season is here. If you've been thinking about going to a game this season, there's no better place to get your tickets than Vivid Seats. Right now, you can get $20 off your first Vivid Seats order of $200 or more with promo code DAWGS20, DAWGS20. So get yourself to a game this season, whether it's in Cleveland or on the road. Don't miss out on seeing these young future superstars in person. Go to vividseats.com or download the app and use promo code DAWGS20 to get $20 off your order of $200 or more. That's Vivid Seats, because life happens live.
We are dogs.
Okay, so quick overview. Today, quarterbacks Deshaun Watson, he connected downfield. This was surprising to me. Deep downfield targets to Casey Concepcion over the middle of the field, nonetheless. Twice. The first one, Casey came down with the pass in traffic. The second one, he caught it on the move and got some nice yak after the catch. I don't know if it would have gone for a touchdown, but he definitely picked up some more yards even after that catch. So Deshaun Watson pushing the ball down the field against the Bills starters, that's encouraging. And I think we just need to talk and have a conversation here. Like, you guys know, I don't want Deshaun Watson to start. I don't want to watch him anymore. He's not the future. I don't care. Like, I don't need to see him. But if they're going to start him week 1, which I believe they are, then I want him to play well, because I don't want to sit down and waste 3 hours of my Sunday every week to watch us suck. You know, like, it's just no fun. So I want to win. I want to be competitive. And seeing Deshaun Watson throw the ball downfield successfully, which has not been the case in recent years, that he can do that, and that's a good sign today. But it wasn't all roses for Deshaun Watson. I was watching a lot of these compilation videos, 11-on-11 sessions and stuff from camp, and he'd have a nice throw, like the throw downfield to KC or something over the middle to Judy or whoever. But just like it is with Deshaun Watson, here's the ride. Nice pass. Stinker pass, stinker pass, stinker pass, panic, run into a sack. That's the story with Deshaun Watson, and there's no consistency with him. So, every practice, there's Zach Jackson's been saying this from the beginning. Yeah, he makes some really nice throws, but in between those nice throws are some really bad plays. And you're not going to win many football games on a couple nice throws and a bunch of bad plays. Just my feeling on it. So they were down in the red zone, doing some red zone 11-on-11 work, team drills, and Watson threw another interception down there. I think at first I watched the clip and I'm like, who in God's name was he throwing to? Like, the first angle that came out made it look like there's maybe 3 Bills defenders in this shot, no Browns receivers at all. Like, who are you throwing to, man? But I think it was Isaiah Bond was running a slant on the back toward the end zone, and Deshaun Watson just did not see the underneath defender. I mean, he threw it right to him. we've seen this going back to 2022. The first game Deshaun Watson ever played with the Browns against the Houston Texans, he did this. He thought he had somebody wide open in the end zone and just did not see the underneath defender. And it was just like, threw it right to the guy. He's done that You can go back, you can watch any low light reel you want to of Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. You will see all of those passes where he gets picked off. And it looks like he doesn't even know if there's a Browns receiver anywhere because the pass is that easily intercepted. He just does not see these guys. So it's worrisome that not only is he clearly leading in interceptions throughout camp, he has 11 so far. That's 12 if you count today. So not only is he throwing picks to us, he's throwing picks to the Bills in practice down in the red zone. And that came after he had just overthrown a wide open Harold Fannin Jr. in the end zone. So the red zone work was not good for Deshaun Watson today. So again, up and down, good and bad. It's always a mixed bag with Deshaun Watson. So going over to Shedeur Sanders then today. Things started out a little bit, how's this practice really going for him? Because apparently the big post on social media, Bills defender was yelling that it was check down city when Shedeur Sanders was running the offense today. I think in the first set of team drills, he had like multiple handoffs, some short throws. I don't know if there was a couple screens in there. So not anything downfield to open up practice for Shedeur Sanders. But later on, that changed. There was a series where Shedeur Sanders, I think the sequence was the first play, he drew the Bills off sides, which, hey, there you go, Tony Grossi. There's your cadence stuff. He got them to jump off sides. And then I believe he threw a deep pass down the sideline to Isaiah Bond, which was not completed, but it drew defensive pass interference, another great outcome for the play. And then the next play, he hits Malachi Corley for a big gain over the middle. And I mean, if you look at the ESPN tracker, again, put up whatever stock you want into. I post it every day just so people have something to comment on, and because people want to know what the numbers were. Okay, let's just call it what it is. People want to know. I mean, if you want to take it serious, you can. If you take it with a grain of salt, cool. Like, I don't know, do with what you will. I'm just giving you the information. But the tracker will tell you that Shedeur Sanders did not throw any touchdowns today. I will tell you, and if you go watch the clip, you guys can debate with me if you think yes or no, but that throw to Malachi Corley was definitely a touchdown. Like, no doubt in my mind. He turned it upfield immediately, and I think he was only like 10 yards from the end zone anyhow. And the defenders weren't even going to try to chase him down because he was gone. He was gone. So that didn't get counted as a touchdown for Shedeur, but I believe it should have been. After that, he had like another nice throw to Denzel Boston on the sideline. He had it wasn't like a big highlight play, but I saw him throw a nice screen pass to Casey Concepcion, which Todd Monken is going to use. Casey Concepcion, he's replicating Zay Flowers from Baltimore right here in Cleveland. And that should get you so freaking excited because Zay Flowers in Baltimore with Todd Monken was awesome. Awesome. And in my opinion, Concepcion he's not only is he bigger and stronger than Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers, little dude. Okay, he's like 5'9", 180. And what's KC? 5'11", 200, something like that? Somewhere in that area. Not only is he bigger than Zay Flowers, I think he's more talented. I think he's better. So if Todd Monken, you guys can tell me what you think in the comments. Todd Monken was able to do what he did with Zay Flowers in Baltimore. I'm very excited to see what he does with Casey Concepcion here in Cleveland. So let's see, a couple other notes from today. I'm just going to go through some of these. I'm just kind of scrolling on my notes here. I've already mentioned a lot of this stuff to you guys. And then I want to get to Kenny Mack's segment. First team defense today for the Browns. They did start out very strong against the Bills offense. I saw where Josh Allen in the first, I think it was the first team session, 11-on-11s. Josh Allen only completed one downfield throw. The Browns' run defense was stout. At some point, I don't know when it was, there was like a fumble on a handoff, and the Browns recovered it from James Cook. So forcing some turnovers, jumping on the ball, locking it down. Denzel Ward, Tyson Campbell practiced in the full team drills today. Again, Tyson Campbell's been limited. Denzel Ward's either been practicing, not practicing, just trying to run maintenance on these guys because God forbid you lose one of them, you're screwed because we have no cornerbacks either on this defense. Again, going back to the depth is just atrocious. But good to see Ward, Campbell out there working. I saw like Campbell had a good pass breakup at one point. Denzel Ward, I believe, was just lockdown corner like typical all day. I don't think Josh Allen completed anything going in his direction. Let me know if you guys saw something different, but I didn't see anything where Denzel Ward gave up a completion today. The rest of the secondary, I think as the day went on, obviously you're going against the best quarterback in the league, probably Josh Allen. So there was one drill, it was called a move the ball period. Josh Allen, they said he was just surgical, just boom, boom, boom. They said the ball barely hit the ground during that drill. And then there was the 2-minute drive where Josh Allen, there was a communication breakdown on the back end of the defense, and Dalton Kincaid, the tight end for the Bills, was just wide ass open down the field for a touchdown. I don't know what happened there, but woof. That one didn't look so good. By the end of practice, just to put it in perspective, Garrett Bush posted on X, and he said, the Bills are doing anything they want offensively, run game, pass game, whatever. So I think it started out, and this is kind of like the story of the preseason game last weekend. Started out okay for the defense, but as you cycled in some depth pieces, not so good, because the drop-off in talent from the main guys to the next guys is huge for the Browns this year. Huge. All right, let's see. We already talked about Alex Wright. That one sucks. That's pretty much, I think that's about the end of my notes here from joint practice today. Let me know if there's anything else you guys saw from the joint practice that I didn't talk about, didn't cover. We can kind of discuss it in the comments, wherever you're, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching this. We'll talk about it. But overall, that's what came out of joint practice today. Nothing crazy, nothing horrible other than the Alex Wright injury, which again, I'm praying is just let it be a sprained ankle, or he rolled his ankle, something. They just didn't want to make him walk. I don't know. I think it probably I'm hoping it looked worse than what it was. So we'll see. But let's see. Let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, Kenny Mack. This episode is sponsored by Disney Plus. You guys looking for something new to watch? Disney Plus has you covered with movies and shows from Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, National Geographic, and more. And if you want even more, check out the Disney Plus bundles with options that include Hulu and ESPN for even more entertainment and sports all in one place. Are you ready to start streaming? Use the Disney Plus link in the description to check out the available plans and bundles and find the one that's right for you. All right, thanks for hanging around, guys. We got more to talk about for this game coming up Saturday. Let's kick things over to our segment from Kenny Mack.
Hey, Dog Pack, I'm hitting you up with a preview segment for the Bills-Browns game this week, this Saturday, 1 p.m. Josh and we just could not connect this week. I mean, he's got kids going to school. I'm traveling. I'm here in Cleveland. A little vacation for me to see this preseason game. And that's right, boys and girls, I am in the land right now. So we'll be hitting you up separately. I want to talk some Browns. I want to talk some Bills for this Saturday. Believe it or not, guys, I was in the building in 2018 when the Browns hosted Buffalo, and it was a way different vibe for that preseason game. It was Mayfield versus Josh Allen. They were both rookie quarterbacks. They wanted to come into their own. They had franchise aspirations, looking forward to their futures. And guys, let's take a look at that. So the 2018 Browns, the number one pick overall, we had Baker Mayfield to get Denzel Ward that year as well. They got Josh Allen, like I said. We had Hugh Jackson in the building, and Sean McDermott was coming with his squad. And the irony of that is that we hired Hugh Jackson over Sean McDermott, and we know where that success went over the next couple of years. But we had Tyrod Taylor. The aspirations were high for both. There was hope for the future. We'll fast forward it today. Buffalo eventually found themselves as a perennial contender in what Sean McDermott built for them, and they got an MVP in Josh Allen. We're the same old Cleveland Browns with quarterback turmoil, and we just haven't quite got there. Maybe 2 winning seasons since that time. So it's 8 years later. It's Bills, it's Browns. We're still looking for a QB, but I want to concentrate on the back end of this roster, guys, because it did not look good next week. Let's get a reality check going now. This team is young. It's got a new offensive system with a new head coach, and the head coach tore down the offensive line, brought in some new receivers. We need to make sure that all gets on the same page, as well as the defensive coordinator and the special teams coordinator. So expect growing pains. These guys, the Browns, the new players, all of them, they're all thinking and not reacting. They're just not there yet. So what am I looking for? Obviously, the best 22 probably won't be playing, and that's what Moncton said. I don't think Deshaun Watson's playing. I think there's talent in that group, but I want to figure out what the rest has. Anything below 50 on this roster just isn't any good. We got to figure out positions, I'd say 23 to 53. And this is what bothered me against the Bears. And I know what bothered you guys against the Bears. When we started getting deeper into our roster, guys looked lost and overwhelmed. The offensive line wasn't creating the same movement, and the defense got blown up for way too many yards. So the offense, let's talk about them quickly. What do we need to do to see more than 10 points on the board this week? Give me some screens. Get me the ball out fast. Give it to these young playmakers and let them play fast. The screen game's got to take it up to a notch, because I don't know if you guys listened to training camp all week. There was a lot of procedural stuff and movement. They just got blown up every time. Maybe it's because the defense knows what's coming and there's no ebb and flow to the play calling in training camp. But I want to see those things to help the offensive move. Now let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about the Buffalo Bills. They're in an interesting spot. They revamped their entire coaching staff. So Joe Brady, the OC last year, he takes over, but he's got Josh Allen. That's good for him for play calling. That makes a big difference for him. As far as like depth is concerned, they're pretty deep. If you take a look at the Buffalo Bills, tell me in the comments, how many guys do you think they're turning over on the back end? I think they're set at 48 guys, and I think they're good. But that means for us, when we're at the game or you're watching this game, what guys are on the fringe and what are pieces that can come over and help us out? Defensively, they're changing their scheme a bit. They have Jim Leonard. He was with us as a safety in the Browns about 10, 15 years ago. So that the defense will be learning too. So what can the offense do to take advantage of that? Is the stuff that I told you earlier. So hopefully that team is also learning and not reacting fast, and Shedeur can take advantage of that. So guys, we talked about Shedeur, and I know that's going to be the thing that you want to hear the most. Shedeur fans, you know that there's some things that he has to work on. What are your main evaluation points when you head into this game? What do you guys want to see? For me, he's got to win the intermediate field. And you know what that means? Passes 10 to 19 yards down the field. Digs, crossers, outs, delivered on time and accurately. We know he can make those downfield plays. I want to see him consistently operate that part of the field and move the offense methodically down and get field goals and touchdowns. You need to play on time. So what I mean by that is get through your progressions, trust what you see, and rip the football. Moncton specifically said that Shedeur has improved his pocket presence and progressions, but the operational part of playing quarterback needs a lot of work. And this is kind of the anchor that's holding him down. I read this in the New York Post. This is what a lot of national media is saying about him. He needs to run the offense cleanly. Huddle, cadence, situations, substitutions, protections, getting everybody lined up, and no play can be wasted. Moncton said specifically with all his quarterbacks that he wants to see his quarterback have everybody lined up with 12 to 15 seconds left on the play clock. That way that he can look at the defense, see what they're, determine what it is, make the appropriate play call if needed, or run the play that's been called. And I think if he shows me those three things executed well, I think that moves him up a notch in my eyes. So Shedeur, please show me that you can play that 10 to 15 yard game, hit some digs, get the protection right. Let me see you take the next step. And speaking of players that can increase or do better, here's some players that I'm watching. While we just spoke about Shedeur Sanders, let's stick in the offense and let's talk about the tight end room. Harold Fannin Jr. is up here, guys. The rest, I don't know about. And I think actions speak words. And that's what Josh says all the time. What did the Browns do this last 7 days? They got 2 new tight ends in Jermaine Terry and Daquan Wright. And I get it. There was injuries on in that room. And Jack Stahl just went down. We haven't seen Joe Royer. But I think also Blake Whiteheart isn't impressing that much. Carson Ryan, he's a whole different tight end. He's an H-back. He's a fullback. Blake Whiteheart's your Y. And so what can Jermaine Terry, what can Daquan Wright do to get some more reps? And they got to kind of morph into that Y tight end. So that's the guy that puts his hand in the dirt, can block the defense end, set the edge, and help the running game. So these guys, I think, will get a lot of play to see what they can do. Next up, guys, offensive line. I've been hammering that point. It doesn't matter what the quarterback does if he's on his back the entire time. I think the way that this is going to go is the Browns, you're going to see this offensive lineup for the most of the game. You're going to see DeJuan Jones at left, Zach Zinner at left guard, Luke Whippler at center. You're going to see Austin Barber get some right guard snaps, and they're going to move KT back to right tackle. And between Conley, who's gone, he was awful last week. KT wasn't any better. You'll see a lot of reps from Tyree Phillips. He was with Moncton in Baltimore. And then after that, hopefully these guys can do something to help our quarterbacks and help our playmakers make some plays. On defense, I think just guys being healthy will make the difference there. I don't want to get too much into it, but you want to see, in my eyes, I want to see Mike Hall play an entire game, and I want to see what he can do against second stringers. As far as the secondary is concerned, let's see what they can do. I want to see more out of Michael Coates Jr., and let's see these guys do what they're doing in practice against our offense. They have that breathe the air in mentality or breathe the ball in, and they have that heart, mind, fist mentality. We want to see a lot of fist in this game. Tackle guys, bring him to the ground. That's all I got for you guys. I am pumped to be at the game. I'm going to the guards game today. Going to head out to PJ McIntyre's tonight. I'm going to see Stacy, who calls in all the time. Going to be hanging around Brad Moneymaker. We're going to connect with a bunch of people in the Discord in the Muni lot on Saturday. If you guys are around, come and see us. We're going to have a blast. Let's go Brownies. Let's see some methodical progression in development of these players this week. Let's go.
This episode is sponsored by MyBookie. You guys want to start football season with a bet that feels like it can't miss? The MyBookie lock of the season is back, and the first one is an absolute no-brainer. With the Patriots in Seattle for NFL kickoff, MyBookie is asking one simple question. Will the Seahawks raise their championship banner that night? Of course they will. They're the defending champs, their home opener, and raising the banner before kickoff is part of the celebration. And you're getting that bet at plus money odds. You're getting paid to say, yes, the Seahawks will do the thing the entire night is built around. That's the first MyBookie lock of the season, and there'll be more coming all season long. Get in before kickoff, sign up at MyBookie with promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, and start your season off with a win. Bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. Must be 21 or older, 18 or older in select jurisdictions. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net for free confidential support 24/7. Kenny Mack, thank you for the segment today to help everybody here with this preview for the Bills versus the Browns. Everybody in the comments right now, please Come with me. Roast Kenny for Todd Monkton. Yes, Kenny cannot say the name without adding a T. He has talked about that. It is hilarious. I think the person with the best roast in the comments, I'll get you a gift card to Dunkin' Donuts. Okay. That was terrible. I'm kind of embarrassed. Sometimes I don't even know why you guys watch this show. But anyhow, a couple things there to what Kenny, I love you, man. You know that. Kenny's awesome. Deshaun Watson. I know I said this earlier this week, I believe, that I did not think Deshaun Watson would end up actually playing in this preseason game. I've changed that. I have changed my mind because of one thing. Todd Monkton has... Kenny, I'm sorry, man. Now I feel like Blake. I'm picking on you. You're not even here to defend yourself, man. Okay, Todd Monkton has reiterated again in the press this week, like he has made it a point of emphasis that Deshaun Watson will play the third quarter of this preseason game. So, but when I was previously, I had a feeling, I was like, I could just see this going that sort of way where we get to the game and then it's, third quarter and it's like, oh, Dylan Gabriel came out. Ooh, that's interesting. But since Todd Monkton has reiterated and told us again repeatedly, yes, he will play the third quarter, I think that will happen. So yeah, I do think we'll see Shedeur for the first half like we're supposed to. And then I do think Deshaun Watson will play that third quarter. And what I'm looking for big time, Kenny, you nailed it. Everything you said, I don't want to go over and repeat anything that you did there, but I want to see what the difference looks like between Shedeur Sanders starting that third quarter and then what he looks like starting a game. Because we know, like, there is a difference. Think about last preseason, a humongous difference between what we saw with Shedeur Sanders in the first preseason game that he started against the Panthers and the third one where he didn't come in till the third quarter, I believe it was, after halftime against the Rams. Completely different player out there. And yeah, I'm watching to see when he comes out as the starter, he gets introduced in front of the home crowd, everybody's cheering, the boos won't come down till the third quarter. Let's see if he gets into a rhythm, if he's rocking and rolling and hitting passes, and if he's wrists up Shedeur Sanders in the first half this week. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the wrists up, and I'm not saying that in jest. I mean that. Like, I'm looking for that moxie, like, let's go. Let's freaking ball out, Like, let's just have some fun and do awesome. Let's just do awesome. So that's kind of thing. And then for Deshaun Watson in the third quarter, how does he look coming in cold? And how does he look with the third string offensive line? We know that offensive line, the backups, is no bueno. No bueno. And, what I'm watching for and what I want you guys to watch for too is the panic. Because if Deshaun Watson can hit his drop back, plant his feet, and his first read is open, I think he can execute the offense. He should be able to. I mean, he's a longtime veteran quarterback, very highly paid. He should be able to do that. What happens when there's pressure and his first read isn't open? That's what I'm looking for with Deshaun Watson, because when you get to week 1 against Jacksonville, their starting defense, yeah, you're going to get pressure and your first read's not going to be open. That's going to happen on a lot of plays. How do you handle it? Do you panic? Do your eyes drop immediately and you're trying to find the escape route from your pocket? It's how you miss a wide open Isaiah Bond, who is wide ass open, working his way to the sideline to get even more open, but you don't see him because your eyes are looking down because your first read was covered and there's a little bit of pressure and you're panicking. Can't have that, man. Can't have that. So that's what I'm looking for out of the quarterbacks. Kenny, I think you nailed everything else. I do want to talk about this tight end. I'm not going to go a whole lot longer here on this episode probably, but the tight end position. So Kenny texted me after he sent the video and wanted me to make sure I updated you guys on the information. Daquan Wright is no longer a Cleveland Brown, at least as far as I'm aware. Maybe technically he is still somehow on the Browns roster, but if you missed it, I think it was yesterday. So earlier this week, I think there were 1 or 2 days where Daquan Wright, who is the UDFA tight end out of Ole Miss that signed as a UDFA with the Eagles, they waived him, and then we claimed him. And we need freaking help at tight end. So Daquan Wright was part of a group of athletes. I think there were like 16 NCAA players who were granted a temporary restraining order or something to seek or to have a 5th year of eligibility in college. They want to go back and play another year in college football. I don't think they were all football players. I think there were some other sports intermixed. But either way, he's going back to college. We got the news today. He has entered the NCAA transfer portal. Daquan Wright will play college football in 2026. So he's not part of a program yet, but he's not going to be on the Cleveland Browns. So I don't know what's going on there with the tight end situation, but Kenny nailed it. You got Harold Fannin Jr., and then you've got nothing at the position after that, okay? And it sucks. It sucks because I think the tight end position is so important to what Todd Monken wants to do on offense. And what we have compared to what he just came from in Baltimore last year and the year before that is awful. I mean, you're talking, you came from Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Charlie Kolar, and now you've come here and you got Harold Fannin and nothing. Blake Whiteheart. That's your leader right now at the position. Blake Whiteheart. That's where we are. Joe Royer not being anywhere. Nobody knows what is going on with him. That hurts. That's really screwing us big time. Because like Kenny said, Carson Ryan, I think he probably will be making this roster. And I think they're going to have to play him at a tight end position here and there. Even though, like Kenny said, he is much better suited to be a fullback type of player, which I think he probably will be because the fullback we signed, Michael Burton, hasn't practiced in like 3 weeks. I don't know what the hell's going on with him. I don't think he's making the roster. So it's, oh man, there are some positions on this team that are really good. There are some really freaking good players on this Browns team right now. But there are also some really, some really large gaps from that top end talent to what's behind them. And tight end is another situation of what that looks like right now. So there's your update on Daquan Wright and the tight end situation. Just weird, just weird stuff. And then the last thing that Kenny said that I want to talk about, the dream of KT Leviston playing right guard is over. He has lost that opportunity. They're moving him back to right tackle where we already know he's not very good. So I don't know. I feel like he had an opportunity to do something at the guard position. I mean, he was rotating and in the position battle with Tevin Jenkins for the starting right guard spot. And even with Tevin Jenkins missing a whole bunch of time with an injury, all KT Leviston did was play himself out of that spot. And as soon as Tevin Jenkins came back from injury, they shoved him back at right guard and said, please, God, play right guard. We just can't watch KT play this anymore. KT hasn't been back. Yeah, has not been back with the starting unit. So it is like more than Tevin Jenkins winning the job, KT Leviston lost it. That's how I see it. Like he just flat out lost that opportunity because he no good. So, yep, that's what we'll be dealing with here on Saturday. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. Another weekend here, another game. We get Browns football on the field. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm not excited because Shedeur Sanders is starting. Like, this is great. That's what I want to happen. I don't think it's going to happen week 1, but we'll see. But either way, it's happening Saturday. And I said this last week on the recap, and I'll kind of reiterate it here. You know, we have this quarterback battle. And, you know, this I'll kind of throw some defense out here for Blake. I'll wrap the show up here after this. I know a lot of people in the comments last week, I don't know if you only watch a little bit of the show or hear one thing that Blake says, but there was a lot of attack on Blake for, I guess, he wants Deshaun, he doesn't like Shedeur. Blake is just like me and Justin and Kenny, and here's the situation. We want Shedeur Sanders to be the starter. We want Shedeur Sanders to outplay Deshaun Watson. The disappointing thing is that it hasn't happened, okay? You guys can get mad at me for saying that, but that's just the reality. Going back through camp, has Shedeur Sanders been the more consistent quarterback? I believe so. But, you know, if the organization, which I don't know, but I speculate that there could be some push from the organization, higher up, ownership, front office. Deshaun Watson said front office the other day in his press conference. He said whatever the front office and Todd Monken decide. It wasn't whatever coach decides. It was, well, whatever the front office and Monken decide is what they're going to decide. That's what he said. It just seems like Shedeur Sanders has not gone to the level that he needed to outright claim the spot. So it sucks because it's what I was hoping, and I was optimistic all offseason that, with a lot of time to train and prep and everything, that he would come in here and just grab the job by the balls and it would be his. Like, he's like leaving no doubt, I'm the better quarterback. You're starting me. There's nothing you can do about it. And we'll make it very clear. Unfortunately, that is not what happened here over camp. It's not over yet. There's still Saturday. There's still next week. But I did see some people posting online today in the media, and I hate it, but I agree. I think there's a really good chance, depending on how the game goes Saturday, but there's a good chance that the starting quarterback gets named next week, because the third preseason game is like a nothing burger now. So it is what the fourth preseason game used to be. Some people are like, well, it's the dress rehearsal. Next week, the Browns will start preparing for week 1. They're not preparing to play the Patriots on Thursday. Next week, they are preparing and getting the game plan ready to go for the Jacksonville Jaguars week 1. So I think in order to do that, you need to know who your starting quarterback is. So that thought process makes sense to me. We'll see if it happens and all that. But the last thing I'll leave you guys with, if you're bumming that it feels like Deshaun Watson is going to be the starter, or you think time's running out on Shedeur to make a push and a claim for this thing, both of these guys are going to start games this year. Okay? If you guys have been a Browns fan for a long time, I mean, I know there's a lot of new fans and people that aren't even Browns fans. You're just fans of Shedeur. That's fine. Whatever. I just need to educate you on the historical tendencies of this team. We start multiple quarterbacks every season. Yeah. Ever since 2022, when we shipped Baker Mayfield out of town, we have started at least 2, if not 3, 4, or even 5 quarterbacks, different quarterbacks throughout the duration of an NFL season. So ever since Deshaun Watson has been on this team, we've started multiple quarterbacks every year that he's been here. Deshaun Watson's on this team. This is the 5th year he's here. It will happen again. So even if Deshaun Watson gets named the week 1 starter, again, like I've said before, I'll root for him. I'm not going to believe in him because he's done nothing to make me believe in him. I'll root for him because I don't want my team to suck. I want to watch good football. I want to win games. I don't want to be the laughingstock of the league anymore. So I'll root for him to be good. I'll be happy if he does well because it means we're winning. It means KC and Boston and Fana, and we're scoring touchdowns and we're making big plays. And if you drafted these guys on your fantasy team, you're happy. I just don't believe in him. But either way, Shedeur Sanders will start games for the Cleveland Browns this season. So just stay patient. If it doesn't happen week 1, hang in there. It's going to happen. And if you're only here for Shedeur Sanders, then what I could tell you, if you're going to watch games or follow the Browns up until he gets that first start this year, just be rooting for these skill guys, these young rookies, to develop and grow. Because rookies don't always start out the season on fire. It's usually a progression. If they're going to be really good, their rookie season is probably the back half where they really kick into gear. So, that could be when Shedeur takes the reins. And now you've got games under the belt for KC Concepcion and Denzel Boston and Spencer Fano. And I think we could see kind of like we saw last year. As soon as Shedeur came in, there was a spark. And the offense finally could do some things. It was a stagnant, stale, putrid, pathetic offense all year until he finally took over. And it's not like it was great after that because we were run by Kevin Stefanski and had no weapons. But he at least made it fun to watch. And there was always the possibility that there could be a big play or something could happen or we could pick up this first down. Maybe we'll score. We didn't really have that before him. So we'll see. But that's how I see it going this year. That's how I see things going Saturday. Again, thanks to Kenny Mack for coming in here and leaving a segment for the show. Thanks to you guys for tuning in and being here. Let me know in the comments, what are you expecting? What are you thinking? What do you predict? What do you not want to see? What do you want to see? Everything about Saturday, preseason game 2, Browns, Bills in Cleveland, 1 o'clock p.m. It's going to be a ton of fun. So tune in to the game. We'll be doing our recap show. Scheduling, again, these Saturday games are rough with family stuff going on here over the summer before school starts, but we're planning to do the 8 o'clock recap Saturday night after the game. If it doesn't happen, I'll let you guys know, and it will then be sometime Sunday afternoon. But either way, this weekend there will be the recap from the game. See you guys in that one. Go to jointhedogs.com if you want to be part of the Discord during the game, on game days, all week. Like, it's a 24/7 Browns fan community. I mean, it's just, if you ever just want to talk Browns, it could be any time of day or night. There's people in there from all over the world. So, I mean, the chances are somebody's up, somebody's awake, and somebody's ready to talk Browns with you. So jointhedogs.com if you want to hang out there. We'll see you guys this weekend on the recap show. Let's go Browns. Let's beat the Bills, or at least let's show out and let's show some progression from last week to this week. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Go Browns.
It's in our blood, it's in our bones, orange and brown, yeah, we ride for our own like a dog pack running. We ain't alone, game day comes, get ready for the show. It's our call, it's our bark, it's our song. We stand tall, yeah, we've been here all along. Through it all, the dog pound standing strong. We all dogs, yeah, we all dogs. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Follow us on social media at the Dogs Podcast. And join our dog pack community at jointhedogs.com. We are dogs!
This episode is sponsored by ISSA. Browns fans, if you're into health and fitness, have you ever wondered how you could maybe turn those hobbies and your passion into an actual career? If that sounds interesting to you, then ISSA has the opportunity you've been looking for. ISSA is the International Sports Science Association, and they can help you become a certified personal trainer in as little as 3 months. And right now you can get $100 off your certification when you sign up through our link, joinissa.com/dogs, DAWGS. Now, certifications are 100% online, self-study, and self-paced. You can study anywhere from your phone, tablet, or computer. And the final exam is open note, open book, aka piece of cake. Except you fitness nuts probably don't eat a ton of cake, so let's just call it a piece of delicious protein bar. And ISSA has the #1 job guarantee in the industry. If you get certified and sign up to be a certified trainer with ISSA, you have a job guarantee or your money back. ISSA has over 10,000 gym partners that have over 73,000 open jobs for trainers right now. And you don't need a 4-year degree or a 2-year degree. You just need your certification to qualify for these jobs. So what are you waiting for? With certification this simple, there's no excuse not to pursue your passion and become a certified personal trainer today. Get $100 off your certification at joinissa.com/dogs. You've wanted to make a change long enough. Now it's time to do something about it. That's joinissa.com/dogs for $100 off your personal trainer certification.